Yo, this is it. I'm Mr. Fade, and you're listening to Attack of the Beats on IllMuzik.com. That's with a Z and a K. If you don't know that, you should. Anyway. Yeah, so here we are again with another 5 beats, another 5 reviews. And before we jump into that, I just want to say congrats to Producer Gal that won the Beat This competition recently. And that was a trap team. That was good. The trap team, and it was a time limit of 90 seconds. So it was a little tough, but still, it was good. There was a lot of good beats over there. So, but still, like sometimes, actually, most of the time it comes down to, a difference of 1 or 2 votes or whatever, but nothing to take away from, the person that wins, but still, it's always super close, so, but that shows the level of talent that's on IllMuzik, so that's really good. That's a plus. So, and coming up next, we got the Warzone beat battle. So, and that's a little tighter because, there's never any theme with that, but it's, there's only 16 spots available, so it's tough to get in. And the only way around that for me to increase that is to have more, Warzone beat battles, but that's hard because it's a lot of work to do that. It's a lot, so I try to have once a month, so, but like I always tell people, if you can't get in, let me know, and I'll try to fit you in or try to get you the next show or the next battle or whatever. So, But anyway, okay, so let's get into Attack of the Beats. First up, we got Arvin Armani with Re-Original. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Arvin Armani with We Original. All right, so first off, you have 2 minutes to submit for your beat there, so but you only sent in it's a minute-long beat, so sometimes it's a little tough to judge because usually I'm listening for change-ups, any type of variations or whatever. So just keep that in mind in the future when you're submitting the beats there. But for what you did, the first thing is the mix. That's what I have to say. The mix was on point. Nothing distorted, nothing bad like that, because even just with the Beat This competition we just had, there's some dope beats in there, but some of them, it was distorted. Some of the kicks were too heavy, or the bass or whatever, and I don't know why some of you are not catching that, or just don't care or whatever, and I always recommend to record, not too hot and all that stuff. So I don't want to get all into it and stuff, but anyway, for your beat, it seems like you got everything on point for the mix, so that's good. So props on that. I like the drums, nice and laid back, get the hand clap and everything. The strings, they do sound synthy, but still, they do sound good and everything. The only thing I would say though is, besides the fact that it's only a minute long, is that the bass line, I find it's good. It's just that when you bring in the synth part, the string part, I just think that the bass line could have been changed up somewhat to match that, because for some reason it just kind of sounded a little off with the synth, like it was just the same bass. I do the same thing myself sometimes. It's like, it's hard because you don't really want to change it up or whatever, like bass lines are kind of boring, right? So anyway, so try to do that, try to change up the bass line, just like a little pattern or whatever, just to basically accentuate the synth, just to complement it or whatever. So that's my only complaint, really. It was just that, just to add some kind of change up to the bass line and stuff. And I think I like to hear that more often with some of these beats and stuff, because it does make a difference. If you listen to some famous songs from years ago, you do hear a lot of change up, especially like a lot of rock songs and stuff. Some of these songs, they go up and down in tempo, like in one song. So try to keep that in mind when you add an instrument. Let's say you bring in a new track, all of a sudden change up the bass line. Why not? Give it a shot. But it's a dope beat. I like it. All right, so next up we got Copino. I always forget this one, man. Is it Copino? Copino? I'm calling it Copino, man. Copino with I'm Back. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Copino with I'm Back. All right. So for this one, this surprised me because at the beginning, right, I'm listening to this and I hear it sounds like some synth, right? You have like the da, 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 da. So I guess it's kind of like you're emulating like some horns or whatever, let's say. So I'm listening to it and I hear the groove and I'm nodding my head and I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for the drums to come in, and I'm waiting for some hype drums. And when it came in, I was like, good, this is good, because I was really expecting you to drop in some like laid back, smooth drums on top of this. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I just think for the vibe of the music you had, the melody, that you would bring in some hard drums. So that's what you did. So props on that. That's good. I do have to say your bass is very heavy though, so just keep that in mind and stuff. That was really the only thing I have to complain about with the beat was the bass, and stuff. It did sound nice. It's just too loud, too heavy and stuff. So usually what I do with that, when I have that type of bass with that type of track, whatever that type of drums, whatever, is you keep it the way it is. Just lower the volume or whatever. You could compress it. Or maybe sometimes it's just a different bass that you need or something. I don't think you really need to change yours, but just throw it out there and stuff. Maybe it's just that or whatever. So anyway, so when you brought the drums in, the bass, that was good, and I was expecting that synth to come in again, and I didn't hear it right away. So, but I was disappointed. But then you did bring it in, so that was good. But again, your beat was like the previous beat. Your beat was only just over a minute, so. That sucks because I wanted to hear more. You're right at the spot where I was expecting some kind of change up. So, so just keep that in mind from now on. Try to set in 2 minutes or at least a minute and a half or whatever. That way you can have more room to do some kind of change up or whatever. So, but besides all that though, the bass, just keep an eye on the bass there. And it's pretty heavy, man. So, all right. Okay, so next up we got Drago Zedek with Camo. Let's check it out. Alright. Okay, so that was Dragozetic with Camo. Alright, so this one's really good. I like this because at the beginning it's all smooth and I hear the scratching in the background and stuff. It's building up and all that. And it's almost like I'm just waiting for this full-on scratch track to come in or something like that. But still, I mean, for what you did, it sounded really, really nice. Very smooth, very mellow. The scratching was on point and all that stuff in the background. And the smooth keys are really nice. I like that. And I'm guessing what you did was because of that, you didn't add a bass line. So you were trying to use that as your bass or whatever. So, I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, I've done that too, where you have the keys and I don't want to add a bass because I'm afraid it's going to clash or whatnot. And but it's not going to clash really. It just depends what kind of bass you use. And when all else fails, there's always an 808, right? You can just let it resonate through. Just use an 808 here and there and stuff, and let it resonate. So at least you get some kind of low end there and stuff. So that was the main thing that was missing from this beat. And the drums are nice. It's just that because of that drum track, it's just kind of like kind of stale in a way, I would say. Like it does sound good. It's just that it needs more life, I find. So I would either keep that the way you have it and just add more percussion, just to liven it up, or to thicken it up. And again, this comes back to the whole 808 thing. So something like that. I don't know. It's like, a while back I used the James Brown Funky Drummer breakbeat. I used that, and I was like, okay, this has been used a million times and stuff, but still, I wanted to add my own flavor to it, so I had an 808 just on the first bar. Like the first bar, like at first, let's say it's a 4-bar loop, so it was like the first bar each time, right? Each loop. So just one 808 hit, and just that alone made a big difference for me. It just made a big difference. So maybe just do that, something like that, But that's the main thing, the low end, and just to spice up the drums somewhat. So you could do that, add percussion, something like that. And but other than that, it's nice. I like the way you did it. Little vocal snippets here and there and stuff. So it's a dope track. I think it just needs a little bit of tweaking. That's it. All right. So next up, we got KYs with UK to LA. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was KYs with UK to LA. All right, so this one's on point. I like this. I mean, you got nice clean drums. It's a nice drum pattern and all that stuff. I got no complaints about the drums. They sound really, really good. You do have, like about 30 seconds in, I was hoping you would have a breakdown. You just have the same thing looping over and over, and it does sound good and stuff. But this is exactly the type of beat where I try to have a breakdown where I have a low pass filter on it and stuff. So I think that's a prime candidate for it. And I was thinking about 30 seconds in, you do that. Just have a low pass filter, and then that way, you have your drums, the low pass, which would kind of act like your bass line, and then you could add stuff to it. So you could add some kind of strings or synth or something, or piano, whatever. Just add that on top, and just for like a little breakdown, let's say, like your verse, like somebody's spitting over this, you have your verse. So I think that's the only thing that's really missing for this beat, because everything else is nice. I really like it. I just think it needs a breakdown. That's all it is, so I would say about 30 seconds in, it was probably after maybe like I don't know, whatever, a few bars there, 8 bars or something like that. So do that, and then you could it'll open up the space. You can have more room to put some more other sound on top, whether it's vocal snippets or horns or whatever, so but yeah, that's the thing, because I mean, some beats you can't really do that. You can have a breakdown, but it's not really with a low pass filter. You have a breakdown with just the bass, but then you got to have something else just kind of over it and stuff. And so in your case, yeah, you just loop the same thing, just low pass, and there you go. You could definitely add something on top. And the first thing I thought was strings, so you might want to give that a shot, whatever. But it's a dope beat. But keep those drums going, man. Those are some nice drums. I like that, nice and clean. All right, so next up, we got the last beat. It's Soul City with 2018-05-19. Let's check it out.
Precious moments I recall, reading old time letters while we clean up the house. Remember
All right. Okay, so that was Soul City with 2018-05-19. And yeah, all right, so for this beat, it's the beginning that screwed me up, because when you have that part, I think he says remember me or whatever, and it's when you cut that off, that chop right there, it just throws me off because it's so cut off, and I thought that was just at the beginning, but you did that all the way through. So I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming you have these, these samples spread out in your pads, keys, whatever. You could definitely put just that vocal snippet part over the music part, that you have on another pad, let's say, or whatever. So when I come across samples like that, where it's I have to really chop it, very fine, that's what I do. I'll just have I won't worry about the vocals right away. I'll just make my melody with the music, throw the vocal on top. And even if the vocal is very, very small, like Remember Me at the end, where it just says me, what I always do with something like that is I'll put a delay on that, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, usually it works. It's just that sometimes it's so short. But even then, when they delay, it's still going to delay out. It's going to make that space. It's going to fill out that space. And not just that, you got the music in the background. So that way you don't have all these chops that are so abrupt, let's say, you know what I mean? So, I mean, some people like to do it that way, that's fine, whatever, but I always like to have the music very fluid all the way through and stuff. I don't like it all choppy, you know what I mean? And I think the other reason why it really stands out is because of the drums, because with your drums, well, first of all, the kick, I would lower the kick a bit, okay, because it's very thumpy, and the snare I'd bring up. I want to hear the snare a little more, because the snare sounded really, really good. And for the hat and the cymbal that you have, especially for the hat, I want to hear that more. I think that's the main thing, because you just bring in the hat a few times here and there, right? Just a couple of little hits. And I think this is the type of beat where you need to have, like this boom bap type beat, you need to have the hat all the way through. That would bring more life to the drum track, which would then bring more life to the sample, you know what I mean? Because it sounds like the drums are choppy, the sample's choppy, so of course everything sounds choppy. So that's my impression of it and stuff. But it does sound nice, though. I like the sample. I think it just needs to not be so choppy. That's all it is, you know. So, but no, it's a dope beat. Just those little fixes that need to be done, and that's about it. So, but yeah, it's a dope beat. I like it. Just work on that first chop, especially, man. Delay is your friend. Trust me. All right, that's it from me. I'm Mr. Fade. This is Attack of the Beats. Keep sending your beats. I'll keep reviewing them. And my favorite beat is, the winner is, drum roll please, Arvin Armani with We Original. Let's check it out.